Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to enter data into SPSS. This you would be doing at the beginning of the semester, probably in Lab 2 for my courses. So what I've done is I've used our class data set over here. I've downloaded the data from our class data set and gotten rid of some variables, and we're going to use it as an example. All right, so here's the data, this Excel file that we're going to enter. Okay, at this point, you should already have a good understanding of levels of measurement and types of data, right? So here's SPSS over here, all right? We can see, in fact, I'm going to just share my screen for SPSS now so I can explain clearly, and then I'll share it more clearly. Here we're on the data view. The data view, rows represent people or cases, and columns represent variables. This is an empty data set. This is a brand new data set, okay? So we can either double click on VAR up here, we can click on variable view, and we can see the variable view. All right, this is the name. SPSS does not permit variables with spaces. That's because then it would think with the code that it's two variables, or that begin with numerals. You can use underscore if you want to space things, not hyphens. So for example, we should always start by giving participants an ID number. So our first variable we'll name ID. All right, it's numeric. We don't need to change any of this for now. We don't need to have two decimals. I will change it down to 0. The default is 2. This will be a label. We don't need a label because it says ID. We do need to come over here to measure, all right? And it's nominal, right? People are nominal variables. They don't have an order. They don't have numbers that go with them. Okay. So now I just want to show you one more time, data view. Now we see ID, okay? And we can just number them 1, 2, and so forth. But we're going to number them as we enter them later. Okay, now you should save your data. Now I'm using the appstream again. So if I want to save it on the appstream, I go save as, okay? And we don't want to go here. We don't want to do temporary files because then it will disappear when we turn it off. We'll go on our OneDrive, which is the OneDrive we actually have at Bakersfield College in this case. So we can open this up if we want. Actually, let's not do that. Right, here's a previous one, right? So this one we're going to name entering data example. Okay, and save. And you should save your data files frequently to avoid losing your work. Okay, so now I'm going to share my entire screen so that you can see everything I'm doing. Okay, so here we have day 1 stats quiz. So we've given an ID for our first variable. Now we're going to set up the rest of the variables. Okay, what year of school are you in? And here we have college fresh person, college sophomore, college junior, and 4th year at BC, which we'll call college senior for this purposes, right? So this variable is an ordinal variable, right? It's categorical data, but we can order it from freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, right? So let's go over here to SPSS and we'll call it year. Okay, we'll put 0 decimals and it will give it a label. And I just use the question they answered as my label. What year of school are you in? You can copy paste from Excel if you want. Now we need values for all categorical variables, which are nominal and ordinal. We have to put values in. So click on, see, I clicked on these 3 dots and we add 1 for the first. The value is the number we use to code it in SPSS. It doesn't matter what number. We could use 1, we could use 99. SPSS simply knows to group everyone who's in, for example, fresh person group according to this number. Okay, so label fresh person. We need another one, 2 sophomore, 3 junior, and 4 is senior. Okay. Then we hit OK. Okay, then we can come over here and its measure is ordinal. All right, we're going to save. Let's go back to the Excel file. The next one is what is your major? And we can do psychology, and not psychology, right? So here we're going to put major. Oops. Right, numeric. 0 decimals. What is your major as our label? Values, we'll do 1 equals, you can do arrow, we can't do tab. Psychology. And 2 equals not psychology. Okay. Let's go back to the Excel file. And it says, how many hours do you spend on average using social media per week? Okay. We come back here, we'll call it social media hours. Hours social media. You can also just paste it, but we're not going to per week. Okay, so this is a numeric. This is actually going to be the type of measure. We forgot to do major. Major is nominal. Okay. Social media hours is actually what SPSS calls scale. SPSS calls all interval ratio variables scale. So let's do scale. We do not have to put values because it is a continuous or scale variable. All right, let's do one more here. I'm going to do what is your favorite genre over here. What is your favorite genre for TV or books? This is a hard one, so I want to show you how I do it. Okay, let's just copy that. Let's go over here. Genre. We only need 0 decimals because this is a nominal variable, right? It's categorical and has no order to it. Paste what is your favorite genre. And now we're going to do the values. And this is going to be a fun one because there's 8 different categories. I usually go in alphabetical order if I can remember to. So the first one is fantasy. Second one is historical fiction, I believe. Next one, horror. Next one, literary. Next one, I forgot. Let's see. Nonfiction, I believe, or a documentary. We'll just put nonfiction. Next one, mystery, thriller, suspense. I'm just going to put mystery. Next one, romance. And next one, science. That's not how you can't put it there. I got to go over there. Science fiction. All right. Okay. So now we have 5 variables for me to show you. Now I'm going to save again. Okay. Continue. It gives you that warning on the app, but it won't if you're just saving it to your computer or to your H drive. Now we're going to go to data view and we're going to start with the first person, the first case. So here we have number 2. Okay. First case. We're going to call it number 1. What year of school? 4th year at BC. That was 4. And then not psychology, which I believe was 2. Social media hours is really easy. We just copy it down. That's 6. And genre is romance. Romance. So what if we don't remember how we coded romance? Okay, we can double click on genre and go to values and look up romance is 7. Okay, so we'll go back to our data view and we'll put 7 here. Okay, now if we want to check and make sure we're right, we can click on this 1 and A value labels button, and it will show you that senior, not psychology, romance. Okay, we can go over here, 4th year, that's senior, not psychology. Social media hour is 6. We want to verify we did it right, and romance, right? So I'm going to do one more, walk you through one more. Number 2, it's a college sophomore, not psychology, right? 20 social media hours. So let's over 2, not, was, let's see, 2 was a sophomore. Let's put this back over here. So 2, okay. So if you have this clicked, you can go like this and select, also not psychology. You can also do it that way. Social media hours was 20, and it was science fiction. Okay, so if you have it, that view, you could click and select science fiction, which in some ways is easier. I just like to do numbers because it's faster. All right, and then change it back to numbers. So that's how you enter data in SPSS.